All right. Good morning, everybody. That Monday morning is here upon us once again. Hope everybody's doing good this morning. Uh, Monday morning, we had a little. What is the weather like today? Good morning, everybody. Good morning, fellas. Let's get this week started right. We're out there hustling and bustling, trying to get ourselves together and get to the job site. Got a ton of things to do today, don't we? Looks like we got a chance of rain throughout the week. It's been a wet summer, hasn't it, guys? Uh, anyway, for all you scallywags out there trying to get it together this morning, hustle and bustle, and pick up your guys and make sure you got all the tools necessary and what you need to get to work today. Let me turn on one more thing, fellas. Yeah, there we go. Hustling, bustling, getting out there. Man, hope everybody had a good weekend. And it's a grind. I know that. We getting out there, and I know some of y'all are already halfway through your first cup of coffee. Let's make it count, okay? If you're tuning in, give me a comment. Tell me where you're going this morning, what you're doing, what kind of work you're doing. You in the demolition business, you in the steel business, you in the concrete business, carpentry. Tell me what you do. Tell me what you do. Tell me what's in front of you today. Tell me what kind of job sites you got. Just list. I'm interested and like to know. If you're a project manager, or you're a supervisor, or you're a company owner, hit me up, give me a comment, and let me know where you work, what you doing. It's Monday morning. It is July. Good Lordy. July 14th, 2025. Boy, we're already halfway through the year. Hey, watch this. I got like to shout out to anybody, to those who stopped by and gave me a shout out over the past week. I appreciate that. I need to make sure I tell everybody hello this morning. Hey Joey, how you doing, man? Frank, what's going on, Bubba? I need to change something on my settings. Y'all excuse me a minute. See, if y'all see some funky stuff going on, it's me fooling around with the old camera settings. I'm still learning this stuff. I want to make a good, if the sound's not coming through, if you're getting audio and no video, let me know. If you're getting video and no audio, let me know. I want to make this a pleasant experience as possible. So when we communicate one another, and it's more entertaining and informational and insightful than distracting. So let me know how it looks, how it sounds. It is 5:06 in the morning. Word of the week, as always, gratitude. Gratitude. You need to be grateful for wherever you are and whatever you're doing. If it's a drudge and you're going to go hand dig ditches today, be grateful you have the opportunity to go dig ditches and get out and make a living for your family and support your family and the ones you care about. And be grateful for the opportunities you may cross over today to get. If you don't like digging ditches, you'd rather be doing something else. Be grateful for the opportunity you get to get out there and find new opportunities that can both increase your wealth and your skill sets. Always work on increasing your skills. You know, a lot of people got to start somewhere. Got to start somewhere. Education. Make sure you get out there and get educated. This world is really in need of all kinds of tradesmen. Tradesmen are going to be really needed in the world. Electricians, plumbers, to employ you that you are capable of doing the work. That's the importance of the certification process or educational process. Make sure you take advantage of it. There's some trade schools out there that are relatively inexpensive. You can get a lot of it done online, and you'll get that ticket that you can show the world that you're an accomplished person. So I suggest you do that. If it takes 5 years, it takes 5 years. You're still going to be here in 5 years. And if you ain't, it don't matter anyway. But go ahead and get that done. Get you that training. If you want to be a project manager, there's all kinds of schools for project manager. If you want to pursue safety, I've pursued biology and I've pursued safety. So take advantage of those opportunities. There's plenty of There's plenty of ways to get educated up in safety. So make sure you get out there and tie it into what you're doing in your life. You can, I've met plenty of men who started out with very little and ended up with a whole lot, and they had the grateful attitude and the attitude that they are going somewhere, and in their heart they were already something before they were. And that's where it all starts, in your heart and in your mind, knowing what you want to be, knowing that you're already that person. The world just hadn't recognized it yet. So be that person. We're all unique in our ways, and we're all valuable in our own ways. So let everybody know you have value. Believe in yourself, you have value, and everybody else will figure it out. But the word of the week, I did a video this week on it, gratitude. Be grateful for every moment, every day, and everyone that's in your life. Even you got to find even in the struggles, you got to find the lessons in the struggle. You got to find the gifts that are in the struggle. It's not supposed to be easy. It ain't supposed to be easy. But you got to tell life what you want, not let life give you what it will. Life will give you anything that you desire. Life will give you that. But you've got to put in the effort. You just can't wish in one hand and crap in the other, because guess what you're going to have? You're going to have a handful of crap. Excuse me, man. My eyes are still full of sleep. Getting up at 5 in the morning. All right. Safety this week. Other than the heat and high humidity, I looked yesterday and it was 80% humidity where I live at. Temperature was about 80 and high humidity of 80. So guys, make sure you stay hydrated this morning on the way to work. Grab something more than a honey bun. Lay off the monster drinks. Get you a bottle of juice and a water. Get you a cup of coffee and a bottle of juice. Lay off those monster drinks, okay? Those things they're way too much. If you're going to hydrate throughout the day, stick most of the water. Now, if you're sweating a lot, then get you a Gatorade. Have a Gatorade and maybe drink half of it before lunch and half of it after lunch. But mostly stick to water. That's the most, for hydration and nutrition is your best defense against heat-related illnesses. good nutrition and plenty of water. That'll take care of everything that you need to have, and it's better for you and allows you to save a little bit of money to take your wife out to eat this weekend instead of spending all that money on that junk. And this week we talked about sharp edges, nails, and hand impalements. There's more reports, more reporting on safety incidences. It really, there's a bunch of them all the time, guys getting their hands hurt. Now, let's talk about that. Your employer is required to provide you hand protection applicable for the tasks that you're doing. So if you're dealing with a sharp edge, you're a sheet metal worker, your employer has to provide you with the hand protection that is applicable to sheet metal work. Here's a word of caution. They're supposed to provide it to you. If you lose it, they ain't required to provide it to you if they documented they have given you a pair of gloves. Now, if you wear them out and they're no longer able to protect your hands, then they'll replace them. But if you lose them, you just can't walk up and say, hey, I need a new pair of gloves. They don't have to. I worked for a big contractor, and I asked the supply agent, the supply guy who worked for the company. This company was big enough they had their own supply officer, and his job was to order supplies. And I asked him, I said, how much we spend a year on gloves? And at that time, this would make your employer profitable. And he recognizes that. He's going to ensure that you move into the ranks of leadership. And once again, as we talked about this morning, that leap into leadership is on you based on your performance. So have that in mind. Keep that in mind. All right. But watch out. Make sure you, instead of grabbing start going to work, make with say a scrap pile or something like that. Use a tool, use it right through, look at it before you reach into it, make sure you have proper hand protection. Look out for sharp edges, nails, and any kind of thing. I had a guy one time, he was doing working on a shear, a huge metal shear. It was on the end of a big excavator, 400 series excavator, and it was a huge shear. A man could almost stand in it. It was that big. And he was wiping down. He had a hydraulic leak internally, and he was wiping down around the cover so he could access it. And during the demolition process, a shard had peeled off of that framework of that thing, and he was wiping it down. And when he did, that shard went straight into his little finger, through a glove, through a heavy leather work glove. And he came to me, and he said, man, I punctured my finger. And I took a picture of it, and I made a note in my journal. And a couple of days later, that thing got infected. Boy, he had an old red streak running up his arm. And sent him to the clinic, and the question was, did he report it? And I said he sure did. So make sure if you get an injury, even if it's a minor injury, you don't know, a puncture wound or something like that, if you don't report it, and then you come back in 2 or 3 days and it's infected, and you want the employer to manage it, and you didn't report it the day it happened, he has every right to suspect that it could have happened off the job site. So make sure even the most minor incident that you report it to your supervisor. Supervisors, if they do, you document it, write it down in a journal, write it down, pass it up line, so that everybody's aware that seemingly minor injury is reported. Okay, that's very important that we do that. We talked about weather. Looks like we got chances of rain all week. Again, that means high humidity. We talked about hydration and nutrition. Um, got possibility of rain throughout the entire region for the rest of the week. 40-50% chances of rain, I think. Let me double check, get the old weather bug out here and see what it says. Yeah. Yeah, we're talking about Wednesday. It looks like a real possibility of thunderstorms, but 70-80% chance all week in where I live at, and that's north of Atlanta. Let's check in the Atlanta region. Let's see what we got in the Atlanta region. It's going to be hot too. Well, it's going to be sunny today for you guys, and then 50% chance of storms throughout the week. Highs in the lower 90s. So it's going to be steamy. Going to be steamy. So if you're out there and you're hanging still, you're working concrete, hope the weather holds for you, okay? But keep an eye on the weather and be aware of lightning. These are just not rain showers. We're talking about storms, okay? And be aware of the hazards, and maybe even talk about, along with hand injuries, talk about weather and what could be out there in store as far as weather hazards this coming week. All right, what do we got going on, everybody? Somebody give me a comment. Tell me where you're going, what you're doing, what kind of work you got going on today. Give me a weather report from because I'm just in the Atlanta region. If you're in Alabama and Tennessee, heaven, if you're west of there in Mississippi, it's still only 4:15 in the morning. But if you're rolling, give me a shout out. Let me know what's going on, boys and girls. Let me know where you're going, what kind of work you're doing. Let me know how I'm coming through. Now, I've had some people give me some comments, but I think I've only had one viewer who tuned in so far, and I'm counting on it being you're either busy or you don't know about me yet. But I'm gonna keep doing this because I find it entertaining. I'm working on my live stream skill set so I can do other things, and I love doing this, and I'll always do this part of it, safety and trying to get guys motivated and lead them into things. If you want to talk about issues you're having with your job site, or if you're in a leadership role and you're having real challenges and you need some help with, and we can talk it out, hash it out, and we can figure out an avenue which you can take and perhaps make your job more efficient and your crew a team. That's the objective. Make your crew a team, a cohesive team who believe in performing their work in a safe, timely, and efficient manner. That's what we need as an industry. That's what we need as individuals. This is really a live stream about, we're in the construction business, but we can still try to be the best leaders we can. And it'll spread out into the family, the community, your church, whatever you're a part of. It'll give you the skill sets and the leadership abilities to, whether it's coaching the kids soccer team, softball team, or baseball team, or leading the Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, or being a leader in your church. This is where we can come together, and as construction workers who are getting out there and building America, the construction in the next 10 years, with everything we've got going on, is going to be a really exciting time. We're going to have manufacturing coming back into this country. If we keep our mindset, now we got to have the mindset. We've got to, I know we've got some challenges with, and it's a lot of fear mongering going on about people who are here illegally and all that. if you're a hardworking man and your community relies on you, you've got less to worry about than if you have criminal intent. So if you're doing things the right way and you're trying to make it along, your chances of being successful are greatly improved. So let's I know that's a concern. I understand it. Listen, I've worked with people from all over the world in my career, and most of all the people that I've worked with, there might have been a few bad ones in there, but their intent was to improve their lives of their family and their community. So let's continue with that thought in mind, and that's what we're here for. That's what you're here for, is to improve the lives of those you love. So talking about in the field, probably going to be delays with the rain. If you're expecting equipment on the job site being delivered from the rental house or whatever, it's probably there may be some delays with that today. So be prepared for it. And when it does arrive, make sure you inspect that equipment and document the arrival of that equipment. Rental houses are notorious, for good reason, of inspecting their equipment. And when they pick it up, they're going to do a thorough inspection. And it's your job and your responsibility to, when it arrives, to give it a thorough inspection and document it and walk it through with the delivery person. As he's unloading it, start checking all the panels, all the doors, check for hydraulic leaks, check and make sure it's full of fuel. They love to charge for fuel because they charge 3 times as much as you would buy it at the service station. And for good reason. They've got to send somebody out and they've got to pay for delivery and they've got to pay a whole bunch of other costs involved with it. So they do charge probably 3 times as much for a gallon of fuel than you would buy at the filling station. So keep that kind of stuff in mind. Just check it for damages. If the AC ain't working, let them know. If the heater ain't working, let them know. If the radio ain't working, let them know. Just don't overlook it. So that's typical, because when they load it back up and they find out the radio ain't working and you didn't say nothing, they're going to say, well, the radio was working when we got there and it ain't working now. We're going to bill them to fix this radio. And, they've got their labor cost, which is probably as much as you make at least. So figure that cost out to fix a radio. Make sure you do all the proper documentation on your equipment as it comes on board. Anybody got any good jokes? I'd love to have a joke. Y'all send me a comment on a joke. I need them for next week too. So send me a joke. Even if you're scrolling through and you catch this live stream later on today, give me a comment, give me a joke. I'd like to hear it, especially about electricians. Why does everybody pick on electricians? What's up with electricians? I've never understood it. I've met plenty of electricians. They ain't no more goofier than any other trade, I reckon. We're all goofy in some shape, form, or fashion. Look at me right here, right now. I got a leak somewhere around my hot water heater, and the darn bathroom is above it, and I got a whistling. I don't know if it's related or not. I just have to keep an eye on it, man. I don't know what's leaking. I have to get up there with a ladder this morning and piddle around and see if I can't find out I got a leak in the house. Just what I need, ain't it? I'm going to have to go out and get me a paycheck. I'm too fat and too old to do much of anything anymore. I can get out of here. I need to set up a a Patreon or something. Y'all just buy me a cup of coffee so I can fix my. I'll take care of the coffee. Yeah, help me fix my hot water, my leak. I got a leak. I don't know if it's a hot water heater, or if it's a bathroom, but I got an old whistling valve on the toilet. I wonder if it's back feeding. I hadn't seen no leaks running down in the bathroom though. Anyway, anyway, uh, this week on the channel, on the Middle Class Bubba, the safety channel, going to be talking about housekeeping. You know, if you drop it, you own it. I've seen guys step on a water bottle, twist the ankle, twist the knee, trip on them. You know, you take a bottle like this and you got the lid on it and it's half full. You can't crush it. You step on it, you're gonna roll on it. I got being an expert. I could stand on a bottle and take my other foot and kick this lid off and crush that bottle down without having to bend over and not kick them to the side and toward the trash can and pick them up. Y'all do the same thing. Keep your trash picked up. Housekeeping, nails, housekeeping, trash on the floor. You know, when I walk on a job site, one of the first thing that a guy the first thing that anybody looks at is how clean that job site is. And whatever job, it doesn't matter whether you're a carpenter or a plumber, an electrician, a demolition guy. If now we know there's going to be some trash buildup and we need to keep it picked up, but if you can't have a clear walking path, that's the first thing a project manager, a supervisor, a safety guy, an owner, general contractor representative, that's the first thing they're going to notice when they walk onto a job site. Whether it's critical to them or not, they're going to notice whether you have a clean job site. So housekeeping is very important. You know, we talked about the bottles there for a minute. They're notorious, guys, and it's a waste of money. If you not drink a full bottle of water and you've got 50 half bottles of water on a job site, that's not only wasteful, but it's a hazard too. So make your job site look good. Keep a good looking job site. That adds to your pride, adds to the concept or perception that the owner and project manager or company owner has when he walks on the site. Is how clean you keep it. What's it look like? Keep those things in mind as you go about your busy day. Also, make sure you give this channel a like or a comment. Those are so important for me to continue this work. I'm going to continue it, but it sure would be encouraging for you to give me a comment or give me a thumbs up or give me a like and let me know that you appreciate me getting up and getting this message out there as much as I appreciate you getting up every morning and getting after it and building America. I can't stress this enough. We got a great opportunity for the next 10 years. If you're a young man, you're just getting out of school, it's going to be tremendous. We're going to need the power infrastructure in this country is going to need power workers. We're going to need electricians with all these data centers and people working on these huge data centers to move us forward in the AI. We're going to need you. We're going to need the HVAC guys in those projects because these are huge buildings and they've got extensive plumbing. They're cooling these electronic components down so they operate efficiently and make us a leader in the AI world. We got leadership in the White House right now that's working real hard to adjust some of the trade imbalances that are going on in the world. You know, we're the greatest country in the world, and we've been sharing our wealth for a number of years, and it's reached a point where we have to bring uh, our abilities back home. We have to reignite our manufacturing. We have to, and everything from making shoes to underwear to pants and shirts to making uh, uh, tin cans, aluminum cans, to making these data centers that are coming in, the highways, the infrastructure in this country is in dire need of being rebuilt. Uh, Buildings that are crumbling and in the Rust Belt, we're going to have to. There's going to be bringing more car manufacturing, and all of that. There is so much manufacturing associated with automobiles. Those who build the brake components, the transmission components, the tire manufacturers. There is all kinds of work, and the new energy sources are going to be required from the fusion energy, uh, nuclear fusion power packages that they're going to be putting together that one package could supply an entire city. Those are the kind of things that we're going to be seeing in the future. We're going to have a lot of automation too. But there's still an opportunity. We're all going to need it. These robots can't do it all, not yet. Even if they are, we're going to need people who know how to operate, who understand hydraulics and electrical principles, and it's like being an automotive mechanic working on these robots. You're going to have to be able to understand how they work, and they're critical, and learning how to program even. So if you're digging ditches right now, or sweeping floors, or your opportunities are boundless over the next 10 years, probably starting right now. There may be some slumps during the transitional phase, but it's coming, and here's your opportunity to get ready for it. So take advantage of that kind of thing. Yeah. So take a moment, be grateful. We talked about that. Be grateful for your health. Take care of your health. We've talked about that already this morning. Taking care of your health, eating right, getting the proper nutrition. Now, I've been through the thing where you go out to eat, and these restaurants, they're trying to provide a substantial meal at a reasonable cost so that they can make a profit. And in that process, they sometimes use ingredients that they can get cheaply, which would mean that it's probably highly processed and mechanic and all this stuff to get it to them, the flours, the sugars, and all that stuff. And they're going to produce what's in high demand, what people want. So if you change what you want, instead of having nachos for lunch, try chili poblano. Uh, Instead of a fast food hamburger, find a restaurant that makes a good hamburger that is good and nutritious versus something that has been prepackaged, pre-cooked, frozen, and shipped from 200 miles away to sit in a freezer in the restaurant until it's ordered. Then it's flash cooked or whatever, and it's a nutritional desert. It fills you up, and it's got plenty of sugar and carbohydrates, but the nutritional value is way down the line. It does nothing but make you feel sluggish and tired the second half of the day, and puts the weight on you. I'm a prime example. Went for years doing that, and bad on your body, causes inflammation, causes mental fog, and all that stuff. So, uh, and we talked about it, and I'll talk about it. The mindset, you got to have that mindset. The mindset of taking care of your body, mind, and spirit. not only during your workday, but the workday occupies anywhere from a third of a half of your daily life, your pursuit of improving the lives of yourself and your family. You spending half a day doing that kind of thing. So keep that mindset that you are something more than what you are right now. And if you believe that in your mind and start working on the person that you see yourself being, then one day you'll wake up and you will be that person, and you'll be striving for a different goal to be even a different person. So set your mind, set your face to who you are and who you want to be, and tell yourself every day through actions and deeds, whether it's being timely on at work, watching out for your coworker, leading your coworkers to success, and having that mindset that you may be dirty and tired and sore by Friday, but you're also building something real, something that matters. You're building your life. All right. So that's something that's very important that you do on a daily basis. If you got any comments, please leave me a comment. I don't see anybody viewing right now, but like I said, I'm learning a script. I've got a little script here I'm trying to stick to so that it's consistent every week. If there's something you'd like to see me add into the script, a segment you'd like to hear me talk about that would help you or help others around you, let me know. Let me know what that segment should look like. Give me some ideas. I'm more than open. I'm here. I enjoy doing it. Don't get me wrong. So I'm here for selfish reasons. I enjoy doing this, but I also enjoy reaching out and dealing with others. I'm what you call semi-retired. I'm an independent contractor now. I do safety consulting. I do fulfill leadership roles, and I'm fortunate enough to have some companies that'll call upon me to go out there in the field and do some assessments and help with developing their corporate programs and work in leadership and those kind of things. Yeah, I'm a safety guy, yeah, but I've been chief operating officers. I've been general managers. I've been project manager. I've done the whole thing, and the underlying thing on that was always, and it should be for you, enough to have a company who's going to offer us employment. It's our duty to do the best we can, and improve their bottom line while we work for them. So keep those kind of things in mind as you move throughout your day. Some of the other things that we need to talk about are any promotions. Anybody got a birthday? I like to give out the old birthday shouts. Buddy of mine who's taken on some different responsibilities. He's really facing those challenges. He's prepared for it. He knows what he's doing. He understands, but he's facing challenges that he's never been faced with before, and he needs words of encouragement, and I communicate with him and a couple other guys on a pretty regular basis that are growing in their endeavors to move through life and increase their values, increase their skill sets. So if you've got those kind of things and you have challenges, I'm here. Send me a message. Here, you've got my down here, something right there. You see it? It says that's where you can contact me at. And I'm Scott. There's my name right there. I'm here for you, man. I want to talk to you. I'd like to know what you're doing, what your challenges are, because your challenges are different. Everybody is unique in every way. They have their own set of challenges. You've got your set of challenges. I've got my set of challenges. And if we talk about our challenges together, then we're sharing things on how we handle them. And as we run across those challenges together, we can share how we resolved them and move us further along in a quicker fashion. Think about that. It's called Theory of the Mastermind. This is the mastermind group for you. This is your mastermind group. This is the place anytime, but mostly on Monday mornings when I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and make my coffee, brush my teeth, get dressed, come down here to talk to you. This is what I'm providing. This is what this is for you, for me. It's a mastermind group. I want to rename the daggum thing the mastermind group, so that we could have a mastermind. I do Zoom calls every now and then with guys, and talk about what we can do, what can happen, what challenges they're facing. Just the act of you discussing with someone else what your challenges are gives you a different mindset, a different perspective, a different way to look at what's going on around you, the challenges you're facing, and gives you solutions. It gives you solutions that you may not have occurred to you previously, just by having those conversations with like-minded people. It's not about somebody telling you what to do. It's about somebody going, well, I've had that kind of a situation before, and this is how I handled it. That's what this is for. That's what the mastermind is for. It gives you somebody else's perspective to help you accomplish your objectives, to help you overcome the challenges that you may be facing. So that's what we're here for on Monday mornings and anytime. Anytime you want to have a Zoom call, anytime you want to have a conversation, anytime you just want a shoulder to cry on or somebody to joke with. Because when you're out there and you're hustling, we all have friends. What did old Leonard Skinner song say? Don't ask me about my business. That's the difference between friendship and business relationships. And I'll be your friend. I want to be your friend. But I also understand that you're trying to accomplish things in life, and you need that perspective. You need that encouragement. You need that separate from what's going on in church. My wife don't want to talk about no business. She wants to talk about grandbabies. She wants to talk about how hot it is. She wants to talk about how hungry she is. She wants to talk about how dirty her house is or how clean her house is. She don't want to hear about no business. And I'm sure that's the same way with a bunch of you people out there, guys out there working. Now, the ladies, they just want to come in. Some of the ladies are still moms, and their most important thing is raising those children. And they may have to work to bring the income up where they can provide appropriately for those children. God bless you, ladies. I understand. And I appreciate the drive and the spirit you got. And I've had some ladies who worked for me in the past, and they hired them to keep the housekeeping up, clean up on the job site. And they had ambition. They just didn't want to be a floor sweeper. They wanted to do something big with themselves. And they expressed it, and I saw the attitude and how well they did their work at housekeeping. And I've had them go from housekeeping to running heavy equipment and doing heavy demolition. And it was a long process, 2, 3, 4, 5 years of them going through those processes, learning how to properly operate a skid steer, making sure they're doing proper inspections, all the way up to the 300 and 400 size excavators, some of them even bigger than that. And they trained up and they paid attention. They're some of the best operators I've seen, just because they had good leadership. Uh, I call him out here. CB, you're a good man. You've done a lot of good things. I need to call you today and let you know what I appreciate. He's a hard scrabble slot man. Slot man. I bet he don't come in about $1.50, but he knows what he's doing, and he accepts no foolishness from anyone who works with him, and anybody who withstands his tutelage comes out the other side. They come out the other side the kind of person you want in the heavy industry, or heavy equipment operations, from rock crushers to excavators to mining to demolition. He's the man. He's the man. There's a couple of them out there. SV, you're a good Christian man, loves to ride his motorcycles and spread the word of God through his motorcycle ministry, and he's a hell of a man. There's more than I've seen men who have changed their lives and are JS, man, you are the bomb. I never will forget that first time I met you. You was fresh out of the old jailhouse, man. You was tough and rough, and boy, that first day we met, I never will forget that. And me and you laugh about that now, and I don't ever tell nobody. I just tell them, oh yeah, and then you tell the story. You tell the story. I'll let you tell it. I don't. It's a much more powerful story when it comes from your mouth instead of coming from my mouth. But you did make an impression on me, and I love you more for it now than ever, brother. So, there's so many of them out there. So many. RB, you a trip, brother, but you're a good man. You're a good man. I've seen you handle some situations, and you did it in a kind but stern fashion. It tickled me. It wasn't too funny. It was funny at the time, and the lesson was powerful in it, and you did a good job, right? RB, RB. There's some of the other people I've run across in my tenure out there doing things, being in the field. Maturity has a lot to do with it. You know, we all have to mature in our way, and the younger you get involved, and the younger you change your mindset to see yourself as something more than what you might see now. You know, so many people see themselves as nothing more than an equipment operator, nothing more than a skid steer operator, nothing more than a torch operator, nothing more than a mechanic, nothing more than a steel hanger, nothing more than a concrete worker. You're more than that. That's just what you do to make a living. But you're a leader. You take care of the people around you. You motivate that guy who's just standing around, looks like he's got his thumb up his butt, but he really don't know what he's doing. You're a leader. You really are. That's what you need to change, is your mindset. And that's why I was giving all these guys a shout out. I've seen them change their minds and change their world. And you can do the same. If you're not already attuned to that kind of thinking, here's the place you need to be. Tune in and give the comment. Oh, I've seen it. I've seen those comments come from people that it ain't nothing but a crapshoot. There ain't nobody gonna do anything for you. I need to just the mindset that is destructive to themselves, and and the it's the most amazing thing I've seen, that like minds congregate. So if you're of a negative mindset and you don't think life is anything but one big burden, then you're going to gather with people who think the same. And once you start changing your mindset, once you start seeing life as a positive energy where, yeah, we may have to dig ditches, or we may have to be a torch operator. Yeah, that's work. That's called work, but that's not who you are. Well, it can be who you are. You can be, yeah. To be a professional torch burner, or somebody who really knows what they're doing, that's something to be proud of. Uh, you know about all the gases and how they burn, and what kind of steel, what size torch tip, whether you need to use acetylene or propane, which is going to be more productive, what size torches you need for this type of work. If you're doing high burning, what type of safety measures you need to have in place. That's talent. And if somebody's fortunate enough for you to share that information with them, then you're doing a good thing. You're doing a good thing, and that's who you want to. That's what people need to remember you for, is what you did for them in your life. You taught them to do the thing that you do the best, so that you are the best. And people who are the best congregate with one another and improve their skill sets. This is, and maybe this early Monday morning chat will be the place where you can hook up uh, with like-minded people, where you can share your experience, and have an opportunity to meet up with people who are of the like mind, and just improve your lives even further, while leading younger people, or less experienced people, down the road, so that they can have the kind of success at work and in life that you have. So here I am rambling along, trying to finish out the last few minutes. If I had somebody egging me on or giving me some kind of comment, it might make me this a little bit easier. But I'm going to keep doing it because I want to do it, and I want you to participate. So if you scroll through this on your way home, or if you know me from other channels and you look this up and you see this, feel free to come in on Monday mornings. Now, some guys, I understand, electricians and finished carpenters, and maybe some roofers who, they're not getting out of bed this time in the morning. Some of them do, and those are the guys I want. I don't want the guys who can't make it to work on time. I want the guys who are there a half hour early. I want the guys who are planning the day. I want the guys who are picking up material and making sure all their men are getting to the job site. Those are the guys I want to see on here. Those are the guys I want to see comments from. I'll take the comments from the other lackadaisical bunch, and I'll recognize them, and you do too, by their attitudes and their comments. I'll take those too, because I want everybody to see the different mindsets out there in this world, and where different mindsets take you. And then the most amazing thing over my life is that one guy who has the mindset of a criminal, or the mindset of a Snuffy Smith, I like to call him. If y'all know who Snuffy Smith is, look up the old cartoon Snuffy Smith. This Snuffy Smith, the one guy, maybe one out of 100, to watch his mindset change and alter, and him grasping that what could be, and then pursuing it and changing his life. That is the reward. To me, that is the reward. And there's been few in my life, but the gratification I feel when I see that one individual change his mindset and change his life is the most rewarding thing a man can experience. And that's why I do what I do. That is my overriding thought. Something's missing. Hold on a minute. Something missing. Yeah. I knew something was missing. I like to look at it every day. Why do I like to look at it? Why do I like to look at it? Because it reminds me of why I do this. Think and grow rich. And I'm not talking about the money. It could be money. Money follows. But you've got to have the mindset. Think and grow rich. There's a lot of different forms of wealth in this world, be it financial, spiritual, family. There's all kinds of riches in this world. And you can have whatever riches you think will fulfill you, whether it be healthy relationships with family or with God, or financial rewards. Those are all available to you, but it starts within you. Anyway, it looks like we're running out of time. I've had a glorious time with you this morning. Haven't had any viewers. It's early in the morning, but maybe somebody will flip through. I think I've gotten a subscriber or two in the past week, so at least they're looking at me at some time during the day. Maybe eventually they'll get up early enough or not be so busy. It's hard to remember. You'll scroll through and see it and subscribe, and then life carries you away. I understand that. But anyway, until next week, Monday morning at 5 a.m., as always, have a